Welcome, homeowners and future electricians. Another episode of Homeowners Electrical Professor. I'm your host. My name is Paul Spasti. We're going to talk a little bit about how the electric gets from your utility company into your house. There are two basic methods of connecting your electrical meter to the utility company: underground and overhead. The electrical meter is usually owned and controlled by your electric utility company. They are the authority over what meter can be used, where it is located, and usually locked by them. They are very concerned with theft of services. Don't mess with the electrical meter. You can get in trouble physically and criminally. If you have an underground service drop involves an underground conduit from either a ground-mounted utility transformer or a pole-mounted utility transformer. The conduit for residential electrical services is usually PVC conduit. The service conduit will enter the bottom of your electrical meter. There may also be an expansion joint in the conduit, which allows for expansion and contraction due to temperature changes from winter to summer. Some electrical utility companies will install an approved direct burial cable from a ground-mounted transformer to the bottom of your electrical meter. Then the direct burial cable is sleeved in PVC conduit when it rises underground into the meter, and that's for physical protection. If conduit is installed underground, installed inside will be two insulated, ungrounded hot conductors and one insulated, grounded, or neutral conductor, which will be identified as white. If direct burial cable is installed, it will be a listed assembly, usually with two insulated, ungrounded hot conductors and one bare, grounded, neutral conductor. I'm not sure why they run a bare conductor underground. That's how the manufacturers manufacture it though. Overhead electrical drop will involve an overhead cable assembly, usually installed by your electrical company. The cable will attach to the utility pole or maybe even a mid-span connection. This is determined by your electrical utility company. The electrical service drop will then attach to your house with a threaded device into the side of your house. The service drop will then be extended by a licensed electrician from the attachment point to the top of your electrical meter using what we call service entrance cable, otherwise known as SE cable. Service entrance cable is an assembly consisted of two ungrounded hot conductors and one grounded neutral conductor. The outer jacket is designed to be outdoors and resistant to the many different weather conditions experienced here in the United States. Continuing on with the overhead services, you may have what's known as an overhead service mast. The National Electrical Code, NEC, requires minimum vertical distances from the ground to the overhead service drop. You need 10 feet for sidewalks and areas where pedestrians can walk, mainly grass. 12 feet for residential driveways. If the attachment point of the service drop to your house is not high enough, you will be required to install a service mast. And basically what that is a piece of rigid conduit that goes up through the roof eave. And as you can see, the service drop from the utility comes across, attaches to that. And then there should also be a guide wire that attaches to the roof to counteract the weight of your service drop pulling on that cable. This is an example of a pad-mounted transformer. You may see one. This may supply, if you live in a neighborhood with underground services, this may supply more than one house, This particular one, I believe, supplies two houses. This here is a pole-mounted transformer. You can see the overhead service drops coming off of that one. Here you can see an underground service that comes, it has underground SE cable, underground direct burial cable rather, that comes underground. And then this is a piece of PVC that goes into the ground at least 18 inches, and that's for physical protection. Here you can see an overhead service that comes to the house, and then the SE cable is run down into the top of the meter pan. These are all photos I've taken of people's houses who would allow me to. I am not vouching for whether they are completely code compliant or not. These are merely just pictures of the different types of services, okay?